Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. We have made it to the final round of the season. We are live here at Donington Park for the final round of the Whodarron Cup Championship, with the M2s making their final appearance this season. And what a finale we have for you this evening. The way that it stands in the championship, it's going to be very, very interesting tonight. No Kieran O'Reilly, so he will not be able to defend his championship here this evening. So we will be possibly crowning a brand new champion here tonight. Obviously, as you can see, the way things are going at the minute, Mezin is fastest of the session, but the championship is pretty much down to two. The man you're currently seeing on screen right now, that is the Monster. He's currently second in the championship and 38 points behind Post in the M2 championship. And Post is the man who is in the leading position. Gotta love the cameras here, they're terrible. But he is in the leading position. I can't change cameras because my battery's dead on my keyboard. So that's even better. We're stuck with the normal cameras tonight. Who would have thought that I would forget to bring the final battery for this evening? But it's down to two. It is Post versus the Monster for the final time this season, and for the final time for the M2s, as they will possibly be leaving the championship for the Whodarron Cup and will be possibly replaced with something else. I actually have got a poll up of what could possibly be replacing them. I do want to say in the chat that if Nuke Waste is listening, you're a cheeky git, very cheeky git. So yeah, you can't have my rig. Right. So the possible, I think what SimPlay are looking at to be the replacements is a multi-class including Porsche Super Cup, Super Trail and Ferrari Challenge. The BMW M2 is possibly staying, GT4 is coming back, or even GT2 is making their first ever appearance. But we did try to do GT2s in the past, but it never really got the sign-ups that we wanted. So sadly, we never did the GT2s, but it's so far it's looking the way of a multi-class event. So we'll see what will become of it in the next season. But we're here for the home of SimPlay Motorsport. We're here at Donington Park, iconic for here SimPlay. We've been obviously running this circuit for a long time, and obviously this is the home of SimPlay due to the fact that it's central to all the drivers in the UK for us, and it tends to be the British touring cars where we all come together and go watching the racing together. So it's definitely where our home seems to be, is at SimPlay, and it's kind of where it's kind of stemmed from there on out. One other thing we want to look at as well regarding the championships tonight, it is down to Apex Motorsport to hang on to the championship. And they're currently leading the way ahead of Autobahn United in second place. They're 158 points behind, and there is 498 points available in the championship for the teams. So it could still happen, but it takes a lot of effort from Flop and Schwarbert to get the job done, and I can't actually see Flop on the tables at the minute, so no Flop tonight by the looks of things. So Schwarbert on his own. It looks like Apex Motorsport are going to wrap that up tonight. So Post and Wilbrink, who are both looking to win their individual classes as well. So Post leading the overall and the gold class, while Silver, Wilbrink is leading that as well. So it is going to be an interesting end. Like I said, it's a bit thin on the ground tonight. We've only got 14 cars currently at the minute. We could possibly have two more. The man who's been on a charge though recently in the last couple of weeks has been Michael Harris. Now, we were hoping to see Michael Harris tonight, but he has informed us that he's had a little accident at work, which has done some serious damage to his forehead, where it showed an image of what he was using as well, what tool. And let's just put it this way: he's a bit of a tool for injuring himself that way. So Harrison has gone to the hospital for just a checkup, just to make sure he's okay. So, but the way the NHS AE system works, he might be there for a while, so we might not see Harris, but Like I said, it is a little bit thin on the ground tonight, but we are going to make it a fun event for the last time this season. 14 cars, and you know what? Back in the day at SimPlay Motorsport, when we were running on Project Cars 2, we only had 16 cars back then. So to now, it just seems like we're moaning about 14 cars. But back in the day when it was SimPlay and back on Project Cars 2, 14 cars was a big grid. Now we've got a handful here, so it's a bit strange, but either way, the M2s will still produce us some great racing. And as we see there, Mezin really pushing the limits as much as he can. He's currently he's quarter of a second faster than Post at the minute, so yeah, he's got that pace in hand. Regarding the weight as well, Post is carrying 40 kilos, 35 for DeMonster. If O'Reilly was here, he'd be carrying 30. Schwarbert's carrying 25. Hibbs is carrying 20. Harris would have carried 15. McGarren would have carried 10. And Wilbrink is carrying 5 kilos. So that's the state of play here going into the final race tonight. And like I said, best of luck to all the drivers and all the drivers in their individual championships. Marsden just needs to make sure he finishes ahead of Anderson to round off the championship for bronze as well. There's 80 points separating that. So it's all still to play for. So as the guys now are coming towards the end of their practice session, and yeah, it's been a long season. It's been entertaining nonetheless, and like I said, we've had drivers come and go throughout the season, and it's nice to finish the season on a high, and we can have some great racing here this evening at Donington Park. But if you are new to SimPlay Motorsport and you don't understand how the format works for the M2s, it works like this. We have 3 races ahead of tonight where we will have only 20-minute sprints. That's all they are. No pit stop required, and obviously you heard me talking about kilos. If you're in the top 8 in the championship, you have success ballast added to your car, and with the success ballast, that will hopefully slow down the cars and make it a more challenge for the guys in the championship. Turns out that weight didn't really hamper the cars that much this season, I don't think. I think some of them have been able to drive with the weight relatively well. But either way, the first race will be a normal qualifying session, 10 minutes. And yeah, 10 minutes for them. Then into a 20-minute sprint, and then the last 2 races will be a 7-minute qualifying session. And the way obviously it works quite well around here is the fact that the circuit is quite short, so it's 1 minute 39.9 for Mezin to do a lap around here, so they should get a couple of laps in the session. So let's have a chat with you guys in the evening this evening. And we got Gary Clarwell saying evening, Matthew Duffin saying evening North says PN, and Tibbs, wow, a bit thin on the ground tonight. Yep, it is. And Ben in the chat saying, old man, can't wait for tonight. And I'm going to kick your head in if you call me old man one more time. I'm 30 years old, man. I'm not old yet. Although, yeah. Yeah, something happened at work today which made me definitely feel old, so I'm not going to say anything about that, but yeah, shows my age. But either way, let's hear from you guys in the chat for the final time this season. Mezin's leading the way though in this session, and a lot of drivers in the pits at this moment in time. Ramsel following Mezin around, looking like he's just getting a little bit of knowledge from the back of his car. And there is your bronze leading driver, Marsden, who is going to try and hold on as best he can, but Anderson is going to come after him as much as he possibly can. With less drivers on the grid, it's definitely going to be a lot harder for him. As we get things ready to go tonight. PN in the chat, you're not old, Dan. I'm older. Thanks. As we are now ending the free practice session, it is just a Ramsel, I believe, on a lap currently at this stage. Ben in the chat, my last chance for a while, so I'll have to make the most of it, so he says in the chat. And I think that's I'm not sure who that is because it's only given me at names, so that's brilliant. I think it's Jimenez. Gonna miss you after Thursday, and as compared to Ben and I might be old. And as compared to Ben and I might be old. I'm 30, man. I'm 30, that's not old. as we now go into qualifying now. 15 of you currently watching, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here. Anderson in the chat saying, good luck, everyone, with the capitals the wrong way around, but either way, we get the idea of what he's trying to say there. So off we go for this third to last qualifying session of the year for the M2s. And who knows what championship is coming up next. Yeah, YouTube have been broken for a while with users. I don't get why it's done that. I don't get that, but either way, it is what it is. A flash of lights there from Micah. Obviously, he wants Demonster to crack on with this one, but yeah. As we get things underway for the final time tonight, and like I said, Demonster is going to be the first one to set a lap time around here, and the key here is not to invalidate your lap time, and the one place you're going to do it is up towards the chicane where we're currently up to now, and that's where your lap's going to either work or not work. Rozowski in the chat saying hello, and he's up for the championship on Thursday, so make sure you tune in on Thursday night because he could have an opportunity to win his first title. Silth also in the opportunity to regain his title, and obviously Ben Rook does have an outside chance to win the title as well, but he's going to need a lot of luck as well. MSA versus Audio Sport also for the final time for the team's championship, and I think also Team Audio Sport will be walking away for a bit. But as we go up to turn number 1, Demonster is going to send it into turn number 1. A reminder as well that Benny Varga for the Pro-Am Championship is champion, and he will be going into next season, going into the Pro category. So hopefully he brings the Jag out, and he says he's not. I think he will. He loves that Jag. So we'll see what happens there. But Demonster's on a lap, and we'll see how he gets on. Rozowski in the chat. I thought you're 50 or something from all the BS they say. Oh, thanks. You're not old. Anderson is 50. No chance for me, unfortunately. Yeah, Ben, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I could have slapped you last week when we were in the headset. I really could. But like I said, anything can happen, and it still can. It's Donington Park. We could have rain. You know, it's looking dry, but there's any opportunity that anything could happen. So you never throw anything away, especially at Donington Park. So, hey, you might have to work. You might get a disconnection. You know, who knows? But either way, we are focusing on the M2s tonight, and it is down to Demonster and Post for the championship, which, to be fair, don't get me wrong, 2 fantastic drivers, definitely earned the opportunity to win the title tonight, but I did not see how this season was going to work out that way. I thought it was going to be O'Reilly versus Silth this season. I honestly did, but obviously, sadly, the MSA boys have been unfortunate and not been able to complete the season. But hopefully we should see them back next year as well, whether it's GT3s or whatever they're up to in the new year. As Demonster sets the pace, but Maiga goes quicker than him straight away and goes to the top as Post separates them as well. And Ramsel onto the 39.9. So Ramsel following Mezin round for a bit really did seem to help him out a little bit there to find a little bit of time. Marston now coming into the final corner as Matt Wright in the end goes P5 with his lap time, and Hibbs goes up to, he's now back to 5 because Will Brink is now gone into 3, and here comes Anderson, and he only goes P9 currently at the moment behind Smith in that bronze category. We've got Millington now coming to the line, and he only goes 9th with that attempt as well. Well, Mezin comes out at the final corner, looks a bit wide, but he is getting on the power and to the line, and Mezin only 11th with that one. Crack comes to the line, and he hasn't set a lap time yet, nor has Marsden and nor has Schwarber. So Ramsel setting the pace in the early stages there. Ben in the chat, 93% chance of rain, and it is going to be flooded last night. We need to lock that in for the last round of Pro. I mean, I would love a bit of rain, I honestly would, but we will see. We will see what happens with that. There's Smith, he's gone off a little bit there. We were on board with Demonster, who is now in the final few corners. They're just behind the 420 of Marsden, who has not set a lap time yet, so it's going to be interesting to see. The Jag is dead. It was destroyed in the Bathurst Endurance last year. says PN, which is a shame. Marsden goes 9th and goes ahead of his rival in the championship. Demonster goes within a 10th of Ramsell there, as Post now sets the pace, and Ramsell once again taking the pole position back away from Post. So Ramsell seemed to have found a little bit of a flow around here at this stage as Hibbs crosses the line, and he only goes 7th currently at the minute, so he's struggling to find that little bit of pace. We was not expecting any rain tonight, so we'll see what happens regarding the positionings there. It should be relatively dry for most of the night, but a man to keep an eye on is this man, Mezin, who comes into the final corner. And right now, your championship contenders are going to be starting together. So out the final corner comes Mezin. He gets the car sideways and he comes to the line. Is it going to be top of the session? No, it's not. He was invalidated, so he's going to be struggling to get that lap time on the board as Crack now goes to 12th. So Mezin, slowest at the minute. He was top of the session earlier on, and now he's struggling to get the best out of the car. So now we go on board with Marsden, and at the minute looking good to stay in contention to winning this title in the bronze category. He's going to try his absolute best, but Anderson seems to be on a little bit of a charge at this moment in time. But to the line comes Marsden. Does he find any improvement? No, he doesn't. The Monster doesn't improve either. Will Post find some time? He gets within 15 thousandths of a second of Ramsell, but Ramsell doesn't improve either. Here comes Maiger. Any improvement? No, not for him. And we now look to Matt Wright, who exits the final corner here. Matt Wright, no improvement for him. Schwarber, any improvement for him? No. Wilbrink, no. Everyone just seems to be struggling. Smith, though, finds some time. Can Anderson get himself any higher? No, he cannot. So, more importantly, he is ahead of his championship rival. Millington goes up to 8th, and he finds the time he needs. Now, Mezin, 14.1 off the pace at the minute. Has he finally got the time on the board? Yes, he has, and puts himself nearly half a second ahead of Ramsell, who at the minute has to fall into that position of P2 at the minute. Crack only 12th at the minute, but puts Anderson and Marsden together, so Marsden just needs to keep him close. Berserker in the chat, good evening all, and good luck to the drivers. And again, I cannot, the stupid YouTube names have really Zenit, evening, good luck. How is the weather looking? And the weather is looking fairly dry for tonight. No real weather going to be affecting the M2s. Excuse me. But Mezin, can he find any more time out of this car? Marsden, no. Can he get himself ahead of Anderson as he come into the final corner now? Anderson coming to Marsden coming to the line. No improvement. The Monster doesn't improve either, nor does Post, and nor does Ramsell. So all those guys, not a lot for them to improve. Wainwright in the chat saying good evening, good luck everyone. And Maiga again, no improvement from him. Matt Wright doesn't improve either. Wilbrink has got ahead of Schwarber. He finds improvement but stays where he is. Smith, can he find any pace? He does find some more pace, but again, just leading that bronze category at the minute with no real shake-up behind. Millington, no improvement as Mezin now comes to the line. A 39.4 is what he's done, and a 39.4 is what he will stay in. So, once again, like I said, it's just coming to the end of this session. A lot of drivers returning back to pits. That is their session done. And Ramsell, for me, has been the shock of this session. He's got ahead of Post and Demonster, who will start together, and they are going for the championship. So it is all down to who can finish ahead of the other, and Demonster is not doing enough at the minute. He's currently 2/10 off his championship rival. Has Hibbs managed to make it to the line in time? I think I saw him leave the pits just as it went to go to the next session. As Hibbs did get a lap time on the board, and he goes 5th, so he needed that to happen. So a good lap time there from Hibbs. Puts him a little bit higher up. So Mezin, though, sets the pace. The Monster does not improve. Post doesn't improve either, nor will Ramsell. So it's down to Hibbs, really. Matt Wright currently into the final corner. And Wright comes to the line. He doesn't improve. Wilbrink, though, coming to the line. No improvement for him, nor for Schwarber. Smith dives into the pits. It is just Hibbs now we are waiting for towards the end of this session. Into the final few corners now. Melbourne hairpin for Hibbs now. As we see Sylph in the chat. Evening, gentlemen. And again, Sylph, it's such a shame to see you not on track, my friend. But it is nice to see you in the chat. And into the final corner comes Hibbs. Can he find any improvement? He's currently 7/10 off the pace at this moment in time. To the line he comes, and he stays 7/10 off as well, so he will start in that 5th place position. But it's Mezin who puts it on pole position here. But Rob Ramsell with a decent qualifying session in the end, starting 2nd as well. But your championship contenders, Post and Demonster, are going to be at it here with them. I think they're pretty much next to each other in pit lane as well. So Post versus Demonster, who is going to come out on top? That is the question. And I've got Cairns also in the chat as well. Nice to see him in the chat. So I said, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified so you don't miss anything here at SimPlay Motorsport. And also, while you're at it, have a look at our fantastic sponsors, Design Manchester and Audio Sport as well. And have a look at all the fantastic things they do. And also, it's only a week until Christmas, guys, so make sure you have an amazing Christmas wherever you are in the world. And a Happy New Year as well. And as you can tell, probably I didn't want to steal the limelight too much because it is mainly about the drivers tonight, and obviously Harris has just mentioned something about it in the chat. But it's going to be a hard stream tonight, as this will be my last commentating stream tonight for SimPlay Motorsport and just for SimPlay, for just racing in general. I did say I was not going to cry, but I'm trying not to anyway. But it's come to the time in my life that I need to come away from sim racing and just commentating and all that lot in general. And I just want to say a massive thank you to the guys who race in the Whodarron Cup. And I've really, in the last couple of seasons, have taken on the Whodarron Cup as kind of like my little project. I say a little project, it's been my little thing for a while. And I just want to say how an amazing cause it is, this Whodarron Cup, because at the end of the day, to other people who don't understand who Whodarron Cup is, we did have a driver. Obviously his gamer tag was Whodarron, and he was a massive part of our league, and he was a part of the team, a driver, a competitor, and a couple of seasons ago we lost him to mental health, and it's something I'm going through currently at the minute as well, and I don't want to end up in that situation as well. So it's time for me to come and step back, but I'm proud to have given you guys the show for the Whodarron Cup, and it's been an honor running with the GT2s, the GT4s, the Janettas, and then obviously the M2s as well. So I just hope that Aaron's looking down on us and on SimPlay as they continue obviously with the championship, and yeah, I hope his family are all yeah, I hope they're all watching and enjoying what we do here at SimPlay, and it's been an absolute honour and pleasure to bring you all the action with these guys. And we still got 3 more races and 2 more qualifying sessions to go, so it's going to be an absolute pleasure. Harris in the chat, evening. Dan, apologies on not making it tonight. Hope you're all good. Have a great night, and best for you, Dan, with whatever is next. Thank you, Harris. Like I said, you're a tool for getting hit in the face by a tool, which is particularly funny. But I hope you're okay, and I hope that everything went clear for you at the hospital as well. But yeah, I said it's mental health has suddenly become a massive thing in the last couple of years, especially since COVID, and yeah, it's yeah. I'll talk more about that later on, but we are going to be focused on the race right now, as it is Mezin versus Ramsel versus Post versus Demonster. Post versus Demonster going at it for the final time this season. Who is going to be champion? That is the question, as you now go into the final corner now. As it's Mezin versus Ramsel as we wait for starters orders here at Donington Park for the final round. And we are green and racing here at Donington Park, and Ramsel's actually had a fairly decent start and is looking to try and go around the outside of Mezin into turn number 1. He's going to give it a fair shot as well, but Mezin closes the door on him as they go wide. Meanwhile, Demonster getting himself onto the dirt and actually having a poor start, which has allowed Hibbs and Maiga to go through a Post in that championship position. And now we go down into the crane of curves, into the old hairpin, and Post and Wilbrink are in the position they need to become a team's champion. But Post and Ramsel looking very racy onto the back of Mezin. Meanwhile, Maiga and Hibbs doing the jump on Demonster and really allowing Demonster to just fall back into the clutches of Schwarber. And now Schwarber's on the attack, so Demonster on the back foot here, as Anderson has got ahead of Crack, and now he wants to make sure he gains as many points as he possibly can to extend his championship fight in the bronze category. Silver's pretty much wrapped up. Wilbrink just needed to appear tonight, and yeah, as we head towards into the chicane now, Schwarber goes down the inside and holds off passes Wilbrink there, so Wilbrink dropping down the order, and Maiga on the move and looking to attack Hibbs by the looks of things and going to the outside. Meanwhile, Post momentarily looking to make a move on him, but on Ramsel, but can't find a way through either. So all relatively clean here for the first couple of first lap here at Donington Park, as Schwarber is coming back at Wilbrink down the inside of the hairpin, and just behind them Matt Wright also looking keen and interested down the inside. Also Smith making a move on Millington, and Millington dropping down the order. He's now under pressure from Anderson, as we see there, as Marsden and Crack going wheel to wheel, and Marsden wants to gain as many positions as he possibly can to stay in front of Crack, and he manages to do so, and through he goes. Meanwhile, Mezin got the start he now would have wanted and is pulling away from Ramsel. Post sticking with him. Hibbs, Maiga and Demonster. Currently right now Demonster losing points in the championship, and that extends the gap to Post. So Post will end up champion if he keeps this form up at this moment in time. Meanwhile, Schwarber and Wilbrink having a great little scrap here, very close to one another. Hope my keyboard is working, but it's not, sadly. But a fairly clean start indeed, Berserker. But yeah, relatively good so far, as now Ramsel seems to be the cork in the bottle for the rest of the guys, as Mezin now starting to extend his gap quite comfortably out in front, while Ramsel and Post are going to go wheel to wheel. PN in the chat, it's been a pleasure, Dan, and as Matt said, even though racing me was more like lapping me. Duffin in the chat, it's been a pleasure to race against you apart from GT5s. You love that season. And commentate with you, buddy. It's been an honor. Thank you for you, dude. You're the GOAT, says Berserker as well, as we go racing here at Donington Park. So at the minute, Wilbrink still giving Schwarber something to think about. But with that in mind, though, he has got Matt Wright right behind him as well. So Wrighty looking a bit competitive himself as well, looking to get involved with this scrap. Like I said, Micah doing as much as he can to win this silver category, but it's going to take a lot for Wilbrink to lose this one. But Micah's looking very racy and looking like he wants to try and find a way through on Hibbs. So Hibbs trying to keep it clean at the minute, but Post just ahead, and Ramsell's starting to build that gap. He's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, and I think a couple of laps just sitting behind Mezin has really helped him out. Just relearn the circuit and gain that confidence back, and yeah, Mezin looking to finish the season on a high. I think he would have the most race wins in the M2s. So Mezin going to finish the season on a high, and hopefully we will see him return next season as well. As Schwarber, Wilbrink, and Matt Wright very close to one another, and Millington trying to fend off the bronze gaggle of cars behind him. Obviously, being a busy time of the year, not a lot of drivers get a lot of chance to practice, and you can see some of them is starting to affect them here. As Marsden now onto the back of Smith and Anderson, so actually ended up jumping behind Marsden. So again, Marsden building that championship gap for the bronze category. He's at the minute. Anderson is struggling with this one, as we see here, 3 wide. Millington has lost out. Obviously, he had to slow down, I think, or a slowdown, but Marsden goes through on Smith as well. So Marsden went from the back of the pack. He's now leading the bronze class, and we're still side by side as Millington is in the middle of all these guys as well. So a real dogfight in the bronze category. Marsden defending from Smith now. Smith sending it down the inside, and Anderson sends on the inside of Millington. Oh, and Anderson just losing the back end ever so slightly there. And I think Marsden is going to lose the lead of the bronze class this year. Smith now go back in front. And Marsden's going to stay down the inside, though. He's going to be up the inside for turn 1. And he holds on as they go down the crane of curves. But Millington went from leading this group, is now dropped to the back of it with Crack giving him a hard time also. Meanwhile, back towards the front, Ramsell's fallen back into the clutches of Post. With Hibbs gone up behind him, Maiga has dropped further back and is now into the clutches of De Monster. And Wilbrink ahead of Schwarber once again, and with Matt Wright behind them. But then we got this gaggle of cars absolutely throwing it at one another. Marsden, Smith, Anderson, Millington, and Crack all fighting it out for the final few places on the grid. Absolute brilliant stuff here, and you can still see they're squabbling at the minute. Anderson going a bit wide. That's going to probably let Millington have a look, but Millington gets a little bit loose on the rear. And we go back to the front as Ramsell now trying to hold off Post, who is still in that driver's seat to become champion here tonight. But he's still got Hibbs, Maiga, and De Monster, his more important rival, right now behind him. And as long as he keeps him in the rear view mirror, that's all he needs to do. As Schwarber now under pressure here. As Matt Wright looking to find a way through on Schwarber, but he cannot do it. And this has calmed down a little bit towards the back. But Mezin, he hasn't rocketed off into the distance as much as I thought he had. He's still within reach of Ramsell. And there is Ramsell going down the hill with Post and Hibbs breathing down his necks. And Maiga also trying to stick with him. If anything, Mezin went a bit wide through Old Hairpin. And Ramsell's made a mistake through Old Hairpin. And that's going to allow Post up into second place position. And even Hibbs momentarily looking for that opportunity to go through, but thought better of it. As they go through the top end of the circuit. I can never remember these sequence of corners, but we've got 5 cars batting it out for second place at the minute. Ramsell's going to try and clear his head and get himself back into this fight. Wilbrink's pulled away from Schwarber, and Wrighty still sitting there behind him. And Millington just struggling in this pack of cars. And Crack, oh, he's made a mistake. He's gone wide, bouncing all over the grass, and off he goes. Dropping to the back of the pack he goes. But Marsden doing everything he needs to do to become a bronze champion. He's gone a little bit deep through the chicane. That's going to give him a warning, though. So, yeah. So now Anderson up ahead of Smith. So the fight now between the bronze drivers are there, and they're going to go at it once again. Ramsell back onto the bumper of Post. And like I say, he just needs to get himself back into the flow of things again. So as it stands at the minute, Post leading the championship. One hand on the trophy, 2 more races to go and a qualifying session. He hasn't got to worry about Mezin too much. He's down the road comfortably out in front at the minute, really pushing the limits as is, as Hibbs goes wide, and that's possibly a mistake for him, and that's allowed Maiga and DeMonster through. So DeMonster brings that gap down, but he's still got 2 cars between him and his championship rival. Matt Wright, meanwhile, still giving Schwarber a bit of a headache here going into the final stages of this race. We're at the halfway stage currently at this moment in time. As Millington, Crack has got going, but he's heading down the crane of curves. He's got a lot of work to do as Millington now on the back of Anderson. Smith has got back ahead of Anderson. So the bronze has been changing left, right and centre. As Ramsell there for a moment looking to make a move on Post, but Post has to be careful here. Yes, he's in a championship fight, but he has to be careful who he's fighting with. Here's the Monster trying to come back at Maiga.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
As we go past the halfway stage. And the Monster looking left, looking right. Can he find a way through? And while Maiga's busy defending from him, Anderson, meanwhile, further back, momentarily looked like he was going to make a move on Smith, but not quite close enough. But Hibbs has dropped into the clutches of Wilbrink, and there we see Schwarber making a mistake, and Matt Wright's going to go up the inside, going down the crane of curves. This is going to be brave from these two. They go through the fast left-hander. Now they're coming down to Old Hairpin. It's getting very tight. It's getting very juicy here. And Matt Wright gets the job done in Old Hairpin, but Schwarber should get the better run up the hill. Up towards, I think this is McLean's. Duffin's going to probably correct me if I'm wrong or not, but McLean's up now. And McLean's and then Coppice, if I remember correctly. But through the right-handers, there you go. Marsden, though, still holding off. Oh, he's got wide. That's given Smith the opportunity, but he's gone wide as well. And it's now going to go 3 wide as they go through into Coppice. And Anderson goes down the inside. Smith goes a bit wide. Will Millington sneak up the inside? Yes, he does. So Marsden was leading this group, and now Anderson's at the front of this pack. So where Anderson was losing points, he's now gaining points on Marsden. So Marsden and Smith going wheel to wheel. And Marsden goes deep, he's into the gravel, and he's dropped further back. So Anderson needs to now hold off and try and keep this position. Meanwhile, Post and Ramsell still close to one another. And as they cross the line, you can see Mezin just down the road, extending the gap. As DeMonster now really needs to get past Maiga and hunt down the 2 in front. But at this moment in time, he cannot get far enough alongside. He cannot get enough of an advantage on him to really mount an attack. Duffin in the chat, Berserker laughing, 3 wide. That's mad. It was mad, to be fair, seeing them all go down the hill. Some great racing. This has been absolutely brilliant. As DeMonster, has he finally found the opportunity? No, Maiga once again holds him off. Maiga obviously wants as many points as he can. There is an outside chance he could win Silver Class, but with Wilbrink sat in P7, it's really not going to happen. There's not enough drivers here to lose him points. And DeMonster had a bad exit out of the chicane, but he's got enough of a run. Is he going to try and send it into the hairpin? He's running out of time. With only 7 minutes left of the session, it is all still to play for as Ramsell, if he can hold off, he'll get his first podium, I believe, this season as well. with a season where he's just been struggling with a bit of motivation, but he has found some tonight at Donington and is pushing hard. They're doing it for SimPlay Racing as well as they now go down the main straight. Can Demonster now find a way through, but Hibbs and Wilbrink are onto the scene now, and Maiga still in that position to just keep him behind. Wright still holding off Schwarbert, and Anderson now has got Millington hunting him down. Marsden has joined the back of the pack relatively quickly, so yeah, he's hanging in there. It's going to be his second podium, first without penalties. That's how it's happened. But up the hill they go. Ramsell, can he find a way through on post to get second place? Currently holding off for third. He could quite happily just stay there and finish in third place. That will do him some good points. But right now, Maiga is still holding off Demonster and Hibbs, and then Wilbrink as well. And Matt Wright's just pulling away from Schwarbert. He's made a slight mistake there. And here comes Millington now looking to try and attack Anderson towards the end of this session. This is the first race. I thought with less cars on the grid, it's not going to be as chaotic as it has been. But Ramsell needs to just be careful with track limits. I think that might have been a strike there, but I don't know with these M2s. They're slightly underpowered compared to the GT3, so they might be getting away with track limits. I don't know. They'll probably want it for the chicane. I've done no testing for the Lexus, so God knows how many track limits I'm going to get. I nearly got the drive-through for bloody Kota. But into the final hairpin now. It's Post and Ramsell batting it out. And like I said, Ramsell's got nothing to lose. If he wants as many points as he can get, or finish as high as he can, then he's gonna go for it. He's gonna try. But Post has got a championship to think of, and with Demonster currently down in P5, he's in a good position right now. He's in a solid position to gain some decent points. But if he has one little hiccup with Ramsell, it changes everything. It flips the championship over, and Demonster will be in the pound seat. So Post has to be clever here. I don't know actually if Post and Demonster know that they're both up for the title. So I haven't really said much in the Discord, but yeah. And here we go again, Millington and Anderson. Crack has now got ahead of Marsden and Smith. They've dropped further back, so Marsden has actually dropped behind Crack now. So maybe a possible coming together for those two. And Anderson once again builds the points up in the bronze category. And there's Ramsell once again getting close to the back of Post. Mesin, nope. Still out in front quite comfortably, 6.1 ahead of Post in that second place position, ahead of Ramsell. Then it's Maiga, Demonster, Hibbs, and then it's Wilbrink, all close to one another. Then we see Matt Wright coming into the final corner. Then there's Schwarbert as well. Anderson coming into the final hairpin there, leading that category. Millington's dropped further back, so I think the bronze fight has come to a halt, and we see McGowan getting into the session as well, so we'll see him for the second race. But Ramsell and Post still going at it as well. Been absolutely brilliant watching these two race, as Ramsell and Post really pushing the limits here. And there, Ramsell had a moment. He looked up the inside. He's had a run on Post, and he's going to go down the inside once again. He's hanging in there, and Post is trying to hold strong on the outside. He's doing so, and Ramsell and Post going wheel to wheel now. And towards the chicane they go, and Post hangs in there. Reminder as well, like I said, it's down to them to decide where they finish in this, and Post has to be smart about this. Demonster has now got ahead of Maiga, so while those two were busy scrapping, Demonster is now in P4, more importantly, so that's where he needs to be. is ahead of this category of cars, and if anything happens between these two, Demonster's back in the pound seat once again. Smith and Marsden came together in the chicane. It feels hard to overtake on this track, says Berserker. Duffin, it can be really if you have the car on the front end, but yeah, Demonster doing what he needed to do and get ahead of Maiga. He kind of has to hope for Ramsell to go for a move towards the end of this race, which I think we may get one more lap. If Mezin wants to keep pushing, he'll get another lap in, I think. And the gap he has, 8.7. And while these two have been scrapping, it's been fantastic to watch. And there, Post has made a mistake. So Ramsell now goes back through into second place, but Post makes a mistake there. But luckily, the mistake was only small. It's only small. It's not big, but Demonster is there. He's probably got one more lap. If he can get close to him, there's a possible opportunity to outscore him. Wilbrink, though, is not really in a position to help Post out. Matt Wright kind of in no man's land at the minute, as is Schwarber. Meanwhile, Anderson pulling away from Millington. And then you got Marston versus Smith towards the back. But Ramsell up into second place now. Mezin coming into the final few corners here. There is Demonster. There is Post. Your championship contenders. And Demonster can see him. He's hunting him. And the gap has come down. 2.1 is the gap. Where is Mezin? He's coming into the final corner now. And 8 seconds, 7. I think he's going to get... Is he going to make it to the line? He starts one more lap. So Mezin has got one more lap. And Demonster has caught up with Post. That's the last thing that Post wanted to see. 1.2 is the gap. It's 1.3 now. So Demonster has got a lot to do, though, to get that time back. But one mistake, like Post did earlier, will give that opportunity. Demonster has to be inch perfect. So does Post. They have to make sure that they are facing the right way. They have to gain the points. Matt Wright, though, in the middle of no man's land, would love the guys in head just to get caught up a little bit, but they're not going to. But Demonster ahead of Maiga, ahead of Hibbs, and ahead of Wilbrink. Maiga goes a bit wide, but Wilbrink slowly securing himself back into this championship for silver class. And Matt Wright's gone off. He's into the wall. Schwarber's going to go through. Anderson isn't, I'm afraid. But down towards the end of this session, Posto being hunted down by Demonster. 1.2 is the gap, but it's not enough. I think Post is going to hang in there. Ramsell's returned to pits. What on earth's happened to Ramsell? Why is he in the pit lane? I'm so confused, but we go back to the race leader. And he's going to finish off where he left off last time out. Mezin exits the final corner. And for the third to last race of the season, he wins here at Donington Park for the first race of this one. Smith, meanwhile, crosses the line to finish in 14th. Post will hang in there for P2. Rob ran out of fuel. No. So Post crosses the line ahead of Demonster. Then it's Maiga, Hibbs, and then we'll bring a brilliant race. Schwarber crosses the line to finish in 7th. Matt Wright, in the end, is going to finish in 8th. Oh, Ramsell is going to be absolutely kicking himself right now. Matt Wright crosses the line in 8th. Anderson exits the final corner. He's in 9th place position. That's more points for him. Millington in 10th. Crack is going to finish in 11th. And Marston in the end 12th. So points are all going to be calculated very quickly. I know Duffin's going to be on it pretty quickly. But what a shame for Ramsell there, running out of fuel right at the end. But Mezin wins the first race here. Can he continue that form on later on? We're going to go to a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, but we'll be back for the second qualifying session and then into the second race. Don't go anywhere. And we are back live once again, ladies and gentlemen, bringing you the action for the final round of this season. And like I said, it's a season where it's been up and down for the championship. We're now two qualifying sessions left. 7-minute qualifying session currently happening at this moment in time. And like I said, it is coming down to the wire for the championship. O'Reilly is out of it pretty much with him not being here. Hibbs now moving up to 4th. Schwarber now in 3rd. They're both mathematically still in this championship fight, but is most likely going to be knocked out after this round. And yeah. But as we come to the end of this season, it has been an emotional season, a season where things have really I think we've seen the really best of some of these drivers this season. We've had a lot of new faces join us as well, which is nice. SimPlay has grown massively and it's awesome to see. But like I said, top 4 in the championship: Hibbs, Schwarber, De Monster and Post going for the title. Wilbrink has pretty much got to outscore Maiga by 51 points, and he wins the silver category. He's 123 points behind, but realistically, Maiga, there's not really much he can do in this. Anderson did gain some points back. He's 71 points behind Marsden now. And regarding the teams, Apex Motorsport is pretty much locked in to win this championship. So they've just got to get through these next couple of sessions, and we will be able to crown some champions here in each category. While these guys are currently on a lap as well, like I said, this gives me a prime opportunity to talk about why we are doing the Whodarron Cup. It's a reminder of one of our drivers that we sadly lost, and due to mental health, and something I'm going through currently myself. Luckily, I've managed to find the time and realise that it's happening to me sooner than I want it to, and that's why I'm coming away and taking some time off, and to try and rebuild myself and get the correct help that I need. And if it wasn't for SimPlay and the boys that are in here, you know, it wouldn't be as easy as it is than I'm in now. So just a reminder to everyone who is struggling out there, like, talk to your friends, talk to your family. As daft it sounds, I've had more I've had more opening chats with the boys in SimPlay than I have anywhere else with anyone, and I think people understand that, especially coming from a man's perspective. I know obviously we have this stigma of a man needs to man up, and you know, shouldn't have feelings, shouldn't really do this, but at the end of the day, we still do. We still have those feelings. We're still human at the end of the day, and yeah, I just want people to know over the Christmas period that we're all out there for one another and support one another, no matter how daft a conversation it could be, to as serious it could be, to as minute as it could be. The littlest things can really affect someone, and like I said, it's good that a community like SimPlay and a community like this can keep people together, keep people talking. And yeah, like I said, people talk to one another, because at the end of the day, that's why we do it, that's why we race, and that's why we're all here. So please, just, if you ever need someone, just always there's always someone out there to help you. And you know, like I said, if not, then anyone in SimPlay are more than welcome to reach out to me and talk to me if they ever need to. But like I said, it's time for me to come away, take some time off, and focus on rebuilding my health as well, because like I said, it happens to everyone, and in this case it's needed to be focused on other energies at the minute. As we go into this qualifying session, Hibbs is fastest at the minute, and they're probably now going on to their final laps here. Lee managing to get into the session, as is McGowan as well. As we now come away from that chat, Post got up at second place again. Demonster just struggling to find that one lap pace at the minute, as Wilbrink goes up to second. Now Wilbrink, like I said, pretty much in Silver, he's got it kind of covered. He just needs to kind of help his teammate out a little bit. So I think Wilbrink here is possibly in a great opportunity to help out his teammate and really show what the Apex Motorsport boys can do, as McGowan splits them as well. So McGowan coming to the session, it's another driver in here, as is Lee. So there's more drivers to take away points from Post and Demonster. But Demonster at the minute currently sat P8 at the minute. If he finds a 2/10, he will go ahead of his championship rival. But he needs to find that. 43 points is the gap. It's still doable. There's 174 points remaining according to that. Yeah, so 170 points still remaining. A point for pole position. At the minute, Hibbs has got that point so far, as Mezens took it earlier. So here comes Demonster now. Is it going to be an improvement? He does improve, but only just goes behind his rival, and Post now goes on pole position with that one. Ramsel goes up to third. Hibbs doesn't improve. Where is Wright? Wright does improve, and he goes fastest overall. A 39.7. That came out of nowhere. Hibbs is on another lap, though. Where is Mezin? He's sideways out of the final corner. Is that enough for pole? Yes, it is. He lost a tenth or two maybe in that final few corners. Wilbrink goes to P6, Millington P9, Anderson P12, as McGowan steals pole with 0.02 of a second. McGowan on pole position here. Is Demonster still on a lap? Yes, he is. So is Post and so is Ramsel. Hibbs also, nope, he's done for the session. So now we just look to Demonster and Post. Qualifying with a full tank of fuel, says Anderson. Whoops. As I think McGowan, I think that's in the chat. Oi, oi. As he goes fastest of the session, does McGowan. So not a lot of practice in there, and he's managed to go top of the session. A brilliant lap for McGowan there. And Post now done as well. Ramsel and Demonster, the only ones left on track. Can Demonster steal pole position? That is the question. As Demonster now exits the final corner. Can he steal pole? No, he cannot. He does improve, but doesn't improve on his positioning. Ramsel is on a lap. Is it pole? No, it's not. So McGowan, out of nowhere, takes pole position. What a lap. Brilliant stuff there from McGowan. Wainwright in the chat, wish you all the best, Dan. Best thing you'll ever do is talk about it. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, it's yeah, it sucks, but it's needed, very much so. But what does put a smile on my face is a lap like that from McGowan. A brilliant stuff there from him. Top 11 within a second. Wow. Exactly. This is what I love about Donington Park, and I think this what offers great things about it as well. So, yeah, a solid pole out there from McGowan. You could get Harris. Obviously, Harris not here this evening. Obviously, like I said, sticking a tool in his face didn't really help him out for this one, and I think Harris would have been quick as well. With the times we've gone racing with FBR, it's yeah. So a lot of practice with FBR around here and us. Tips in the chat. Bit of pleasure listening to your commentary, Dan. Take time for you, mate. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, like I said, I will still be in the Discord. I still will be around, as like I said, in Discord form. But like I said, just
30 seconds.
even like I said, the racing for me has got. I've lost the love for racing, and I think everyone goes through that at one stage. We all lose that love for going racing again, and I think I have a few plans that I want to do next year regarding like actual real world racing that I want to go and do. And I think with me taking some time out for myself and coming away and try and focus on that, maybe could be might give me the thirst to come back again. But as this moment in time, it's purely new year, new start. Go from there. But yeah, we always talk about one of the iconic things in motorsport is the Triple Crown, which is in the chat, well spoken a moment ago, Dan. It takes some big kahunas to see what is happening around you and face it smiling. Had my spell in 2018 and sometimes a little rest and refresh is always needed. Top lad. Thank you, mate, in the chat. Everyone talks about the Triple Crown, the jewel in the crown for motorsport, which is obviously winning Monaco, 24 hours of Le Mans, and Indy 500. And for someone like myself who's actually Cherrymore, nice to see you in the chat, Cherrymore. For someone like myself, I've actually never left the country. I've never visited the world. I've never actually left the UK, and it kind of saddens me a bit that I've not done that. But I have got this goal in mind that I want to. The whole reason we all got into sim racing is because we all love racing. We love it. We're passionate about it, and we want to basically be racing car drivers, but we just don't have the money, the funding, the backing, this talent, whatever, to do it. So this is the only way we can kind of do it in real life. Now, obviously, I love all of that. Austin having wheel issues with being back and his buttons aren't working. Oh, so Marston's going to be starting from pit lane if he can get his wheel going, and hopefully that won't affect his bronze championship. He's got a gap, but not a lot. As long as he basically stays in it, he should be okay. But yeah, with the obviously drivers wanting to do the Triple Crown in real life, obviously I know I won't be able to do that in real life, but I would love to go and experience it. So before my time on this earth, I want to do some form of Triple Crown. And with my uncle living in Michigan, I could go and do Indianapolis. Le Mans is just across the Tamar. The Tamar. Why the hell did I say that? Across the pond, I can go and do Le Mans. And obviously Monaco is ridiculous, so it's possibly just a European F1 race. So that's the goal. That's what we're going to try and achieve, and see if I can do that. But as of right here and now, we are focusing on the M2s, the Whodarron Cup, the penultimate round of the season. McGowan stuck it on pole position, and he's ahead of Mezin as well. This is going to be a cracking fight as Post and Demonster going for the title as we wait for the green light here. And we are green and racing here at SimPlay Motorsport for the penultimate time of the season, heading down towards turn number 1 as we go into the corner. McGowan got the jump, got the started he wants, and Ramsel there just going around the outside of Post, so that's more important there. Post is just dropping down the order. No, it's not. That's not Post. That was Wilbrink. He got ahead. Sorry. So Wilbrink dropping down the order already as the Monster has got a lot of work to do as they all go down. And Maiga's sending up the inside, and he manages to avoid any form of contact with anyone. And Demonster is now making a move on Wilbrink. This is important. This is important for the championship. And Demonster needs to get this job done, or else Post is looking more and more up for grabs. So through the S's they go, and they're flying through at the minute. And through the S's they go, but McGowan got the jump he wanted. It's going to be an interesting fight between him and Mezin. But Mezin does get the start. Matt Wright in third, holding off now Hibbs. Post now still sat in P5, but he's still got a Ramsel who wants to get a win. Sorry, a podium outright. Through the S's they go, through the hairpins they go, and Ramsel still giving Post something to think about. Maiga and Demonster behind, and once again Demonster has got a couple of cars separating him and his championship rival. Schwarber is looking to make a move on Wilbrink. Wilbrink gone a little bit deep, he made a mistake, but Schwarber not going to get the run he would have wanted. Anderson, more importantly, is in front. And Marsden did get out on track, so as long as he stays out on track, he's still going to secure some points for the bronze category. But Mezin and McGowan going at it like there's no tomorrow. I'm going to try and see if I can get my cameras to change. No, they're not. My battery is dead. So as these lot fly up the hill, I'm going to try and see if I can get a battery that is working. Sorry for the noise if you can hear it. Let's try this one. We'll see if it works, because they'll just randomly start changing camera. There we go. Oh, we got a camera that works. Yes! Yes! Quick! Oh no, I've ended up pressing a button I didn't want to press. Oh, no. No. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, it's died on me again. Has it died on me? Oh, the battery's died on me. Oh my God. No. Try and warm it up in my hands a minute. Oh, what an idiot. What an idiot. Right, McGowan's still leading this race, but Mezin is right behind him. Matt Wright under some pressure in the background while I mess around with my keyboard. No, it's not wanting to play. Actually, wait, hang on. Matt Wright says fastest lap of the race, actually. Ah, yes. Yes. We have cameras. We have cameras. Oh God, I can't put the keyboard back together now. Oh God. Oh, it's done it again, no. Oh. Why? Okay. Right, okay. Right. We've got yeah, right. We're good. Oh my God, that's stressful. Right. Mezin's really giving McGowan a hard time here. Matt Wright ahead of Hibbs, ahead of Post, Ramsell, Maiga and Demonster. Schwarber into the clutches of Wilbring and Millington sticking with him. Anderson and Lee with them as well. But Crack and Smith are ahead of Marsden. But Anderson needs as many cars as he possibly can between them. Oh my God, guys, what on earth was going on there? I really don't know. But we have managed to get racing. We've lost 5 minutes of this session already of me just messing about. Can't get the staff. Wow, the staff getting... Well, I was having... Can't get this staff. Oh, God. But Mezin, meanwhile, is really hustling the back of McGowan. Really putting on a great show here towards the end of this season and absolutely loving this scrap. They'd not set fastest lap of the race. Post actually now sets fastest. No, Maiga sets fastest lap. So either invalid laps or... Get that man some batteries. They're in now. The stupid thing is, with the battery situation, I had to warm them up in my hand just so that they would get some charge. As down the hill they go, down the crane of curves. That is Ramsell versus Post. And again, Post has to be sensible here. He cannot afford contact with Ramsell, who goes a bit deep through old hairpin. And he's going to under some pressure from Maiga as they all go up towards the hill. And it's not double A's, Mass, it's triple A's for this stupid keyboard. As McGowan has lost the lead of the race. So Mezin has managed to get ahead. And Mezin just pushing the limits over the right-hander. Down towards the back of the section of the track. They head into the S's once again. Demonster on the back of Maiga and Ramsell. Now, the thing about this, yes, Demonster's caught more cars, but more importantly, the cars aren't harassing Post. So at this moment in time, Demonster is losing more points once again to Post. As we come to the end of this first half of this session. And it's Mezin who is fastest and goes and sets the fastest lap of the race. And McGowan has dropped now into the clutches of Matt Wright. So he's just struggling for pace at this stage of this race as Post now onto the back of Hibbs. What's happening towards the bronze category? Anderson's actually caught Millington, which is on the back of Schwarber and Wilbrink as well. So Anderson really bringing himself back into play. If he can clear some more cars, that's more points he will gain. And he's 70 points currently behind Marsden. So he needs a big haul of points here to possibly win this championship. And he might need to get up to this guy. He needs to get to the front of this pack to gain some decent points, I think. Going into the last race tonight, as Mezin is going to try and make it 2 for 2. He's pulling away from McGowan now, as McGowan's qualifying lap was impressive, but he just looks like he just could not hold off the pace of the number 2 of Mezin. And down towards the chicane we go, Matt Wright and McGowan. Close to one another, but McGowan now trying to pull away from Matt Wright. Hibbs is still there, as is Post and Ramsell and Micah and Demonster. So all still to play for. Meanwhile, further back, Anderson catching Millington, Schwarbert and Wilbanks actually now breaking away and breaking free from the 3 behind. So good to see a little bit of pace generating from him. As they go through turn number 1, Wilbrink is pulling that gap. But again, we're kind of in a stalemate once again at this halfway point of the race. Mezin really pushing the limits through Old Hairpin, really cutting as much of the curb. You can see the dirt being kicked up, and he's really pulling away as hard as he can to build that gap between himself and the McGowan. But right now, he's not really got much to worry about. Demonster still cannot find a way through Omega, and it's back to race 1 again for him, where he spent most of the time behind the independent driver and could not find a way through. Ramsell, meanwhile, it is basically a repeat, just slightly different positionings, because we've got Post and Ramsell going back at it once again. Another scrap between those two. And we got a scrap between Micah and Demonster. And yeah, Millington versus Anderson again. So it just seems like race 1 fights returning back once again. But McGowan seems to be ahead of the group, and he's gone very deep. It's going to compromise his entry and mid-corner speed. But on the exit here, McGowan is going to stay ahead of Matt Wright. But he goes deep once again. But I said he tries to get the better traction, tries to get the better exit as he crosses the line to start the halfway stage of this race. And Demonster once again gets close to the back of Micah, but not close enough. As you see there, Ramsell momentarily looking down the inside. And let's not forget as well, Post is carrying 40 kilos of weight. Yeah, he is. So he's carrying that weight on board, and he's got Ramsell with no weight on board, really hustling the back of him. So Ramsell trying his absolute best now just to find a hole, find a gap to come through. As Ramsell really trying to push the limits, trying to find a way through at this moment in time, but cannot find it. He looks left, he looks right, but he cannot find the gap. And the same going for Demonster behind him against Micah. So no opportunities have arose so far, as Wright now giving the flash of lights to McGowan. And he's basically saying to him, look mate, you're slower than me. I'm going to find a way through eventually. And he's going to try his very best to do so. And once again, Post, he's doing a good job here just to keep Ramsell behind. I say that, he makes a mistake. And Post now going wide. That's going to allow Ramsell to look around the outside of the final hairpin. If Ramsell's feeling brave enough, but he won't, he'll want to get the cutback, which he's trying to do so. And Ramsell cannot get the traction and just gets a little bit loose on exit and has to fall back in line. But momentarily there, Post made that mistake. And for a minute there, Post looked like he was about to lose the position to Ramsell. Once again, Anderson has got ahead of Millington. So Millington made another mistake and allowed Anderson to get through. That's another car between them. But as we get past the halfway stage, the running order is still Mezin leading the way, ahead of McGowan, ahead of Matt Wright, and then it is Hibbs in that 4th place position. Post, oh, Ramsell's had a moment. He's had a big moment, pushed a little bit too hard, damaged the front end of the car, and is now reversing back onto the circuit. Such a shame there for Ramsell. He looked like he was in a good position to score some good points tonight, and he's just made another error there. But again, that's allowed another car to separate separate Post and DeMonster. But again, it's too little too late for DeMonster. He needs to get past Maiga. But Maiga is not wanting to move. Maiga really wants to fight and have a scrap. And he's managing to do so brilliantly at this moment in time. So hold on to that 6th place position. DeMonster, though, really needs a little bit of luck on his side. And right now, Maiga's not pressurizing Post. Post is not close enough to Hibbs. Post is doing everything he needs to. Mezin's dropped it! Mezin's made a mistake! He's dropped down the order. He's now behind DeMonster. Now Wilbrink. What on earth has happened to Mezin? And he's off big time again in the final corner. Mezin has thrown away the lead of this race. And McGowan now leads ahead of Matt Wright, ahead of Hibbs. Then it's Post. And then Maiga and DeMonster. Wilbrink. Now Schwarber. Now Mezin. Anderson still ahead of Millington. And also ahead of Ramsell. Which is more points once again going the way of Anderson. While Lee's obviously dropped down majorly as well. So Marsden losing bit by bit some more points once again. Wow. Drama here. A rare mistake there from Mezin, dropping the rear and ended up all on his own. There was no one around and he's just made a little bit too much error. And obviously the best way to get the best performance out of these cars is to turn the traction control off. What, Matt Wright cold win this race? You mean could, Matt? Matt Wright could win this race. I don't know the last time we've had a Matt Wright win. Was that when he was it the Nissan GTR was the last time he won? That's the last time I can remember at Spa. That was last season, I believe. Or was he, did he win in the GT4s? I honestly can't remember the last time we saw Matt Wright at the top of the podium. Either way, Mezin is going to be on a recovery drive at this moment. Part of the MSA stable now is Mezin. Was signed earlier on in the season. I think it was pretty much after Alton Park. He was signed by MSA. You can see the car is just sliding all over the place. So like I said, you really need to, you have to turn the traction control off on these cars to get the best from them. And yeah, McGowan though leading this race, and he's comfortably ahead of Wright now. So Matt Wright was in a groove, was looking quick, but he's just not been able to bring that gap down to McGowan. Meanwhile, Mezin right on the back bumper of Schwarber. And Schwarber doing everything he possibly can to keep the Autobahn United team going. And oh, and contact there. Mezin just makes slight contact with him. I think he didn't expect him to be that far wide. And Mezin back down the inside of Schwarber. Schwarber goes a little bit wide, allowing room for Mezin to possibly look up the inside, but can't do so. But that's just a little bit of door banging there. Once again, though, Matt Wright brings the gap back down to McGowan. So a possible mistake towards the middle sector of this lap. But Matt Wright, can he get a race win before the end of this season? Mezin momentarily looks to the inside for the chicane, but kind of tries to put off Schwarber as best he can, and he has managed to do so. Mezin now gets the attack as he heads up towards Melbourne Hairpin. Schwarber's going to squeeze him to the inside as much as he possibly can to stop the best run possible, but he manages to get through. Anderson, meanwhile, has lost the position, not just to Millington, but to Ramsell and Crack. So Anderson, again, not gaining the points he needs to win the bronze category. at this moment in time. Apex Motorsport looking good for the gold, looking good for the silver, and looking good for the team's championship as well. I don't think I've made a single post this season for the Apex boys. I don't think they've won an outright race this season. If I have a look back actually at this season, I don't think they've won a race. Post, there he is. Wow. Has Demonster won a race? Demonster. Yeah, Demonster's won a race and he's had a couple of seconds and thirds. But Post, leading this championship, has not had a single win. He's not won this championship at all. He's not won a race. And he's in the pound seat to win the championship. That's impressive. That is what you call a pointsy season. That's just actually quite baffled me. Mezin has now finally cleared Schwarber. Lee's back into the pits. But, yeah. Wow. Okay. So, yeah. McGowan crosses the line. 7 tenths was the gap. It's back open to 9 tenths once again. So, yeah, I think that's the way it is, Tips. I think he just needs to keep finishing. Unless Anderson can gain some massive points in this one, like he needs to pretty much be where Mezin is currently at this minute. He needed to get... Oh, Schwarbert's dropped it! Schwarber has dropped it, so that's Millington to Ramsell through, crack through, and now Anderson goes through. Will Schwarber get it going before Marsden? There is Marsden. So that's more points gained on him once again. Wow. So what Duffin has said, it should go to the last race. Oh, too many buttons there. Should go to the final race, but at the minute, Demonster is not doing enough. He's not doing enough to really stop Post at all. And it's mad to think, like I said, it's been an impressive season indeed from Post just to be in this to be leading this championship. Obviously, like I said, with the loss of the MSA boys, obviously might have been a different story, but he would have been outright third even with those guys here. And again, with no race win to his name, it's still very impressive. He's still giving Hibbs a bit of a headache here coming into the final few laps here. McGowan, though, is going to cross the line and win this second race. So McGowan, he gets his win this year. Matt Wright in second, Hibbs in third, Post in fourth, Micah in fifth, Demonster in sixth, Wilbrink in seventh, Mezin in the end, 8th place for him. Millington is going to come home to finish in P9. So good points for him in the end. Ramsell managing to make it to the end, even with the damage to the front of his car, is going to finish in 10th. Crack has gone in so incredibly wide. That's given Anderson another position there. So Anderson up to 11th, ahead of Crack, ahead of Smith, and then ahead of Schwarbert. And now Marsden are bringing that 15th place position. Lee returning to the pits. So, it is going to go down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen, for all, I think, for at least gold and for the bronze category. Regarding silver, Post or Prost, this seems to be a calculated win. Prost, I'm with you now, Prost, Prost, huh? But yeah, this is going to go down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified. We shall see you all on the other side. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the final qualifying session of the M2 Whodarron Cup Championship. And I'm happy to announce that 2 championships have been confirmed, or 2 champions will be confirmed before we even go into the end of this qualifying session. Regarding the silver category, your provisional champion in the silver class is none other than the man himself. Will Brink will be your silver category champion. Apex Motorsport has got 1 championship under their belt, and obviously with him taking the silver championship, that has also allowed him and Post to take the team's championship as well. So Apex Motorsport are team's champion for the M2 championship here in the Whodarron Cup. So massive congratulations to Will Brink and Post for their team's championship, and to Will Brink for his silver as well. Now, final qualifying session of the session. 1 point available here, which is very, very important for the final race here, because the man we're currently watching on screen is leading the championship, is Post. He leads by 46 points at this moment in time, ahead of the man who's at the front of this group, Demonster. That is for the gold championship and overall. Post can make it a complete and utter sweep for the Apex Motorsport guys if they win silver, gold, and the teams. But Demonster is going to try everything he possibly can and throw the kitchen sink at this to try and make sure that they stop him from happening. The last fight for the championship is also for the bronze category. The man who's currently sat in the pits currently at the minute is leading that group. That is Marsden, and he's choosing not to qualify. But this man, Anderson, is hunting him down bit by bit. The gap was 70 points. Into the final race, it goes to 59. That's all that's left. 59 points separating those two, and 87 is available. It is going to have to take the drive of his life for Anderson to try and take this bronze category, but he's going to give it everything he possibly can. And if he can win that, and then the only siders win the gold as well, that'll be very much impressive as well. So as they go into the final session, once again, the Monster sets a benchmark of a 40.9. He tends to build himself up, but Post though goes to the top of the session. So more importantly, 1 strike already to Post, as already Hibbs goes faster than the pair of them. Smith goes into that 4th place position, and Will Brink, your new silver category, goes to the top, fastest of the session. Ramsell didn't get a lap time on the board. Anderson didn't either, nor did Wright, nor did Millington. Crack is currently in the far end of the circuit, and as is the 2 that we got to keep an eye on for fastest lap, and that's going to be McGowan and Mezin. It is going to go down to the wire here. 1 more race and 1 more time here. GG to all drivers this season, and great commentary, Dan. Been great fun to watch. Thank you very much. Tips in the chat. Let's go for 1 more time this season, as Mezin does not get a lap time on the board. McGowan, though, does he? He does, but it only puts him in 4th place position. So let's get it done. Let's see what will happen here. Will Brink, though, is the man currently on provisional pole at this moment in time, but we go back to Demonster, who is currently on a lap. The 4.7. I think it's the 4.7 something. I think that's Lee. Yeah, the 4.73. He's back to the pit lane. So Lee, that's the best he can do. So he returns back to pit lane. As now Demonster goes to the line and puts himself second now, but Post, more importantly, puts himself on pole, but then Hibbs goes faster and puts him to the front. Where does Ramsell put himself in all this? Ramsell's still hasn't got a lap time on the board. He is hurting his qualifying session here right now, and wants to keep an eye out is McGowan. He's on a lap. Myga goes into P6 as someone else just improves. Matt Wright goes to P3. So Hibbs currently on provisional pole. Where is Mezin? Didn't put a lap together. He's into the final corner now. Is this going to be the lap he needs? He is valid. So this is going to be a good lap time for Mezin. Is it top? Yes, it is a 39.4. Near enough 0.3 of a second ahead. Schwarbert now to the line. Does he improve? He does. P7 for him. Here comes now McGowan. Is he going to put it on pole? He gets close. He gets within a 10th of Mezin. As things are really coming to the very end of this session, Lee finally gets back out on track. But the question is, will Demonster get another lap in? That is the question. But into the last couple of corners here, the last opportunities for these guys for this season to add to the record books, to add a pole position to their name. Demonster, I think, will get another lap. He will indeed. He exits the final corner. Can he get ahead of post? That is the important thing now. Can he do it? No, he can't, but he does get one more lap in. Myga crosses line, doesn't improve. Does post improve? He doesn't, but again, all these guys get another lap in, as they're all pushing the limits right to the very end. Ramsell, meanwhile, does get a lap time on the board, but only good enough for 10th place. Smith, in the end, doesn't improve and stays in 11th. Millington goes to 10th. What can Matt Wright do? He stays P5. So Mezin, McGowan's done. He's back into pit lane. So Mezin, at the minute, currently provisional pole for him. Lee is on a lap, but I think he is... Mezin is not going to improve. He's on the grass. He's off. He does improve. I don't know if that's an improvement or not. Lee is on a lap, I think. I don't know if it's valid or not, but that's the question. Lee, I think, may possibly be on a lap. Anderson, good luck everyone in the last Whodarron Cup race of the season. As he puts himself 13th. What can Lee do, though? Mezin is currently on provisional pole. He did improve, but I don't know how he improved. He was on the grass. But Lee comes to the line. He does improve, but stays 14th. Here comes Demonster, though. Can he do what he needs to do? 0.2 of a second is all he needs. He improves, but doesn't change position. He stays behind. Wilbrink. Myga does improve, but doesn't get ahead. Hibbs, in the end, has to settle for third. So it's Mezin from McGowan from Hibbs, and Mezin takes the final pole position of the season. And what a final race we have ahead of us. This man put it on pole for the final time this season, and for the final M2 race that we are going to have here in the Whodarron Cup. The final race of 2025 in the Whodarron Cup as well. As we now have the final time for these guys to get themselves prepped and ready to go. 25 minutes left of this M2 season, and what a season it has been. For me, I cannot think of a moment of this season that sticks out into my head. It's all been absolutely brilliant. For me, one of the first things that come to mind is Harris's drive at Kyalami in the wet was phenomenal. O'Reilly all season been very competitive with Silth as well, with the MSA boys in there. It's nice to see McGowan and Skunky as well back to their ways, back to racing form and the top levels they have been. And it's been nice to see some new drivers. Myga, Post, Demonster, Wilbrink, Mezin. Mezin's been an absolute star this season as well. And obviously the tight fight for the bronze category. Smith, Anderson, Crack and Marsden here to the very end. It's been a fantastic season. And like I said, there's nothing really that sticks to mind. It's been the best point, because the whole season's been fantastic for these M2s. And I have thoroughly enjoyed commentating with these guys, and for this championship, it's been absolutely brilliant, and I've loved every second of it. Tips in the chat. Thank you once again to all drivers and all at SimPlay for Aaron's mates. All you done in Aaron's name is very much appreciated, and I appreciate all the wonderful things you've just said there, Tips, because at the end of the day, like I said, for a man who is currently going through those struggles that Aaron went through, it's hard, but at least SimPlay can continue in his name in the right way. And he loved the racing, and he loved racing right to the very end, and that's what we're doing here. We're going to keep racing in his name. Been an absolute pleasure. Berserker in the chat, yep, we've had such amazing fun and chaotic races. Thanks to SimPlay, and hope to hear you again, Dan. It's, yeah, like I say, it's been fun. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating on these cars and these guys. They're all fantastic. But as all good things must come to an end, and you know, this season's coming to an end, this championship's coming to an end, and yeah, it's time to look forward to the future, look forward to what 2026 has ahead of us. Hopefully PMR will sort itself out and we can have some possible racing on that as well. And never say never, you may see me return one day. It depends how bored I get and how quickly I can sort my head out, but a lot of the guys reckon I won't be gone for long. But yeah, we'll see how the recovery goes. But yeah, for now it is a see you later rather than a goodbye at this stage. But yeah, it's going to be a fun little race to commentate towards the end of this season. Hopefully we can get around to Mezin versus McGowan. That'll be a great little scrap. Can Hibbs get involved? That's another question. But we're about to get ready and underway here at Donington Park for the final time tonight and for this season. As now Mezin comes into the final corner for the final time this season. It is Mezin versus McGowan on the front row. Who is going to take the final win of the season? Who's going to be champion? Is it Post or is it going to be Demonster? Who's going to be bronze champion as we now wait for starters orders here? And we are green and racing here. Mezin already covering off McGowan, going as far over to the left-hand side as he can to open up turn number one. And down the inside goes Hibbs. He got the jump he would have wanted and gets ahead of McGowan. And Post is there as well. So Post getting the start he would have wanted, but he's made contact with McGowan. And McGowan's not going to give up that easy. He's going to stay there as well. And Matt Wright's there also. So Demonster's only got one car, but Wilbrink sends it. Wilbrink absolutely sends it, makes contact with Matt Wright, and Demonster right in the middle of all this, while Post disappears into the distance, and Wilbrink sending it up the inside of Matt Wright, which I think wasn't really planned, and ends up putting two cars between Demonster and him now, as Matt Wright has been pushed back into the categories, and Millington's gone off there as he didn't really give much space to Matt Wright, who's stuck on the outside. But it is Mezin who leads this race ahead of Hibbs, ahead of McGowan, and ahead of Post, like I said, who hasn't had a win this season. Can he finish the season on a high, win the championship and win the race? That is the question. But Demonster now in real trouble. He's got ahead of Schwarber now, but he's got his good old friend Miger, who's been with him pretty much all night long, and this time he is ahead of him, but he's got, more importantly, the Apex Motorsport driver of Wilbrink separating him and his championship rival. But Demonster really needs to, I think he really needs to win this race and Post to be in a lot of trouble to really take the title here. Meanwhile, further back, Maiger and Schwarber swapping positions left, right and centre. Marsden, meanwhile, is right behind Anderson. So, again, all Marsden needs to do is follow him home, and he is bronze champion. But Mezin sets fastest lap of the race and trying to pull away from the pack to finish this season on a high. Ramsel, can he find the move on Maiger and Schwarber here? As right there has a better run on Smith, and he's going to look up towards McLean's. But he's going to be on the outside of the corner. You can get some grip out there, or you try and do the undercut, as Ramsel, if anything, is going on the attack on Maiger. And Maiger trying to defend off Ramsel, and Maiger gives him the racing room, and he goes a little bit wide. Smith definitely goes very wide. That's going to open the door for Wright to come up the inside, but he's going to be on the wrong side of the chicane. But Matt Wright does get the job done. Smith, knowing this is not really his fight, and the fight for the bronze championship is going at it between the actual drivers themselves. Anderson and Marsden separate each other on track, and at the minute Marsden will be bronze champion. Hibbs, meanwhile, still defending off McGowan right to the very end. And still Post and Wilbrink going at it. And I think Wilbrink is literally he's secured himself in the silver category. And he's in the top 7 in the championship. In the end, Maiger didn't really get close enough to win the title. But either way, it's been a great scrap between those two. But Wilbrink kind of there to help out his teammate. As into the last couple of moments of this season we go. Hibbs holding off McGowan. DeMonster has pulled away from this group, so that threat has now gone, thankfully. But Schwarber goes wide, has a moment, and Ramsel now gets a run on Maiger. He's going to try and go all the way around the outside. Let's have the inside then for McLean's, and he just about gives enough room for Maiger. Maiger knows that's kind of the lost fight there and has to fall back into position and try and cut back underneath, but he cannot do so. As Ramsel now defends off Maiger, goes from attacking, now defending straight away. He needs to get past Schwarber, as Marsden is ahead of Anderson on track, more importantly. And that's more points gained. Where is Schwarber? He's head of this group, sorry. So, yeah, so Schwarber is ahead of these guys currently. But McGowan still giving Hibbs a bit of a hard time. As Post now onto the back bumper of him, and Wilbrink's just joined the party as well. So will Wilbrink want to get a podium towards the end of the season? That's the question. And will he risk his teammates' championship for that podium? As Hibbs is defending for his life. As for the back, Schwarber is under pressure from Maiger, Ramsel, and now Matt Wright. And door banging there from Schwarber and Maiger as they go through turn number 1. Ramsel and Wright nearly make contact. And around the outside goes Matt Wright. Ramsel to the inside. A bounce over the curb. Oh, and slight contact there from Ramsel and Wright. And Ramsel turns that into an overtaking opportunity. Although he's a little bit out of control, he manages to turn it into an overtake, but Wright gets that position back. Meanwhile, McGowan has got ahead of Hibbs, and once again, Post is in a dangerous situation. He wants to attack the cars in front. Luckily, he has got that buffer of his teammate behind him, but DeMonster not really in a position to really threaten the guys ahead. So, Post back into position. And Wilbrink right on the back of his teammate. I don't know if he's making him anxious or not, I do not know, but Maiger has to go defensive. He's got Schwarber looking to go around the outside of Melbourne hairpin, but cannot get that job done. Matt Wright just behind them as well. Ramsel in that scrap. Marsden still ahead of Anderson, with Millington in the middle of that scrap. But Mezin, long gone down the road. As McGowan there, pulling away now from Hibbs. And Post there sitting on the back of Hibbs. Now, Hibbs wants this podium. He wants to finish the season on that 3rd place position, but Post thinking of the championship. Is he gonna try and get past the Greasy Bandits driver? As he's looking for an opportunity to find a way through, but he can't right now. They're coming to the end of this sector, and you can see there Hibbs still trying his absolute best just to hold off the cars behind. Post now, he's took a lot of inside curve. Oh no, Post has made a mistake! Post has made a mistake, he's in the wall, he's got damage, DeMonster goes through. But how many more cars will go through? There goes Meiger, there goes Schwarber, there goes Wright, and there is Ramsell. Has Post just thrown away this championship? DeMonster now is it. Post didn't have to make that push. He did not need to make. Oh my god. Oh, he's got damage to the front end of that car quite badly as well. And who's going to be behind them is Marsden, Millington, Crack. Anderson's dropped further back as well. So Anderson's got damage somewhere. But right now, Matt Wright and Schwarber are going at it. Ramsell's just behind as well. But DeMonster now in 5th place position. 10th place for DeMonster, for Post. I don't know if Matt can do the maths. Flop in the chat. Oh my god. I wonder if Matt can figure out. So DeMonster needs to catch Wilbrink now and try and gain as many points as he can. Post is walking wounded. Oh snap, what a tragedy. It is going crazy in the chat. Marsden, can he catch Post? That's the question. Post has got a lot of damage to the front end of his car. But what's in Post's advantage right now is Wilbrink is actually in a good position to stop DeMonster scoring points here. Matt Wright and Schwarber now going wheel to wheel into the chicane. It's going to be tricky for both of them to get through, but they managed to do so. Ramsell has a better run. He strangely goes for the outside, possibly the only place he could have gone. But a 3-way fight between these two. If these guys come together, Post is back into some good points again and will be champion. But oh, as Matt has done the points, as it stands right now, here and now, it is 8 points. 8 points. Oh, okay. So Duffin in the chat saying DeMonster needs to win the race and Post be last. So, yeah, DeMonster has to do everything he can now. The opportunity's there, but he needs to pass 4 cars really to get himself an opportunity to win this title, but I think it is gone. But Post there making a silly error just towards the end of this season, but it's going to happen just at the very end when he needed to make sure he was clean and fair all the way to the end. And Hibbs, meanwhile, a couple of bad rounds for DeMonster really hurt him this season, and now DeMonster's paying for it at the minute. As Hibbs works his way through the chicane, and he's gone very defensive as Wilbrink now looking to go around the outside. As as Wilbrink can't find a way through there. Demonster just sitting and watching this happen. Meanwhile, Wright and Ramsel are too busy racing one another, and Post is catching them back up. So Post is getting himself back into this championship fight once again. As there we see Wilbrink once again looking to try and make the move on Hibbs, but Hibbs closes the door. Meanwhile, Demonster brings the gap down a little bit more, bit by bit. Ramsel and Wright going at it again. Flop maybe drinking the champagne already, says him in the chat. Maybe Post got a little bit too excited. But I did say something bad like that for him to happen, and the championship goes out the window for Post. But at this minute, he's still currently champion as it stands. But Wilbrink and Hibbs are racing hard. This could be points available for Demonster. He's found a 10th. Not enough at this stage. Sometimes the racing gods are on your side. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. As we go right to the very end of this championship, Wilbrink wants a podium, I think. He desperately wants a podium. He's giving Hibbs a real headache here. And I think, if anything, Mezin is actually losing some time to McGowan. McGowan seems to get himself back into a rhythm here. And once again, Demonster just matching the two in front in the middle sector, even though they're racing. And Wilbrink onto the grass there. That's going to slow him down a little bit and let off the hook for Hibbs. And there is your championship leader at this moment in time. Hasn't led all season. It's been O'Reilly all season long. But right at the end, where he needs to be, he is going to possibly be crowned Whodarron Cup champion. As into the final hairpin we go. Six and a half minutes left of this season. 6.5 minutes until we possibly crown, well, we will crown a brand new champion. But who's it going to be? That is the question. Demonster, another 10th taken out of these two. It's still not enough, and he's taking too much curb. He's pushing a little bit too hard. I think here is Demonster. He knows his opportunities here and now. Meanwhile, Ramsel has made a mistake as Matt Wright gets close to the back of Schwarbert. And Schwarbert here just going a little bit wide there, and Matt Wright's through. Job done for him. Can Ramsel now get onto terms of Schwarbert and give another position to himself? As Ramsel tries to get into the slipstream of Schwarbert. But once again, Hibbs just trying to hang in there for a podium position. But he's got Wilbrink trying to come at him, and he's thinking about sending it into Melbourne hairpin, but he's too far back. And he's going to go a little bit too deep. I feel like I'm watching British Superbikes with these M2s. As Wilbrink now goes into the hairpin. Hibbs goes a little bit wide. The Mezin has now extended that gap quite a bit. 4.1 is now the gap. And if anything, Demonster's now lost time to the two in front, so he's struggling at this stage. Ramsel has managed to get ahead of Schwarbert. And Post now was like 3 seconds back, and he's still 3 seconds back to these guys. So he's chipping away bit by bit, but not nearly enough as he could be doing. And Hibbs and Wilbrink close to one another. Still going at it. Ramsel isn't off the hook yet. Schwarbert is still there. Oh, I say that. Schwarbert's gone very, very wide. But he manages to collect it together and not go off too wide to end up in the kind of the section where he end up falling apart. Especially Brands Hatch finale from 2024. British Superbikes I don't really pay attention to, so maybe did it come down to the leader of the championship dropping it? I'm guessing so. But Demonster's got no real answer for the two in front. He needs a bit of luck now. For Demonster to win this title, he needs luck, and I don't think the racing gods are on his side tonight. Post got quite lucky with the damage he sustained. He just needs to make sure, he just needs to finish. He doesn't need to push too hard. He doesn't need to do anything silly, although in his mind he's now losing points. He's now, right, okay, I'm losing points to my championship rival. He doesn't know what the gap is, but he knows he's losing a huge chunk of points right now. So in his mindset, he's like, I need to drive fast. I need to catch Schwarber and make sure I gain as many points as I possibly can. Marsden right now, Anderson's got damage to the front end of his car and struggling at this stage. So Marsden here is going to win the bronze championship as it stands at the moment. There's nothing really Anderson can do. So Marsden looking strong for bronze. But this is where things can change. De Monster 2.1 now behind Wilbrink. So that scrap that he was possibly going to be involved in has kind of opened up for him now, and he's not really getting close enough. So right now it's all in the hands of Post, as Lee has managed to get ahead of Marsden, but he's more importantly ahead of his championship rival. Hibbs now has slowly but surely been catching onto the back of McGowan. So McGowan here looking to possibly trying to hold off this second place. He's made a bit of an error there. He's ended up to the inside of the circuit where he doesn't want to be, as Mezin now goes into the final few corners here, and he is going to start his penultimate lap. 5.5 is the gap. He is going to start his penultimate lap here. Or will he? I don't know, actually. He might be on the final lap. He might be on the final lap. We'll keep an eye on it. But De Monster, though, 1.9 behind. Crossing the line now, it's 2.2. So, yeah, he's just struggling now. De Monster is going to lose this title, as Post actually now closer to Schwarber than De Monster was to the guys in front. Post is only now 9/10 of a second behind Schwarber. So, if he can get ahead of him, he's going to leave himself a little bit of a buffer. As once again Wilbrink gets close to Hibbs, but not nearly close enough, and De Monster running out of time, running out of options. But for this man, other than the race 2 little mistake of his own, he has been absolutely phenomenal. Such a shame we missed him in the midpoint of the season, but Mezin had to take some time away. He has come back absolutely on fire in these M2s. But in the end, it's come down to 2. Mezin into Melbourne Herben. McGowan still ahead of Hibbs, still ahead of Wilbrink, and De Monster in 5th. Maiga got Matt Wright for company, and Post has caught Schwarber. But we look to this man, Mezin, who comes into the final quarter. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And he is the winner of the final race here tonight. Mezin wins the final race of the Whodarron Cup. McGowan is going to come home for P2, ahead of Hibbs in P3 on the podium. Wilbrink will finish in 4th. De Monster has to settle for 5th, and sadly losing the title. Maiga in 6th, Ramsel in 8th, 9th is Schwarber, but more importantly in 10th place position and winning the Whodarron Cup, it is Post. He is your Whodarron Cup champion for the 2nd season here. Millington in the end for 11th, Lee in 12th, Marsden is going to finish in 13th, Anderson is going to finish in 14th place position, ahead of Crack in 15th, but Marsden crosses the line to finish in that 1st place position in bronze. A massive congratulations to him. Wilbrink wins silver category, but Post is your champion here tonight. What a season it has been. Absolutely brilliant to watch, absolutely brilliant to commentate, and like I said, it has been an absolute honor streaming this for you guys. But in the end, it went to 1, and it's gone the way of post. He finished the season 34 points ahead of Dim Monster right at the end. Will Brink obviously confirmed as a silver champion in the previous session, and Marsden now confirmed as bronze champion as well. Apex Motorsport winning the teams as well. I'm going to quickly go to the quick break for a minute while I change into the highlights, as we'll be back in a few moments. With Marsden first. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream again, and hopefully I should be able to hear drivers in the background momentarily. But we have got the final results of the season. Demonster in the end just losing out, but we will start with our bronze champion tonight. We'll start with man himself, Marsden, and a bronze championship for yourself, Marsden. It's been an epic season between yourself and the rest of the guys. Although you guys fighting towards the back, it's still as epic as ever to watch. You guys really tooth and nail all season long, and just a consistent season for yourself.
Can you actually hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear.
All right. I'm not very good with the technical stuff. First half at the beginning of the season was okay, but the second half I was struggling. I don't get much time to practice much, so yeah, I think if Mr. What was his name now?
Anderson?
Oh, Anderson, yeah. I think if he'd have been in a couple of races earlier, I would have struggled.
Nonetheless, it's still a great scrap between yourselves at the back of the pack. It's definitely where all the action seems to be. Obviously, the guys towards the front, similar pace and not able to overtake one another. But you guys are pretty much going for it at the back, near enough every race. It's definitely entertaining to watch, and I'm pretty sure for you guys, it's been entertaining to race in.
Well, for me personally, the scrapping at the back is what it's all about. So, because when you're a slow driver, you hardly get recognised by anybody or everybody concentrates on
Yeah.
the best driver in the game. Things like that. So when it's at the back, when you finally get a chance to actually get recognised with a trophy or something at the end of the season, it's really worth scrapping about. So I think that, me personally anyway, and I know a couple of other guys in our chat, we feel the same. It really matters to us when there's something that was to actually get recognised with. Yeah, it makes a big difference.
And I think as well, like I said, I think as well, seeing the scraps as well on the stream as well, it's been brilliant to watch. Like I said, I spent more times, I think, watching you guys at the back than I did actually the guys at the front. So it's definitely entertaining for us to watch as well. But nonetheless, mate, you've had a brilliant season and you have taken bronze champion this year. So congratulations on that, and hopefully we'll see you make a return for next season.
Thanks so much, man. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to come back. Definitely.
Good man. And congratulations to Marsden on taking the bronze championship. We've got quite a few people in the chat with us tonight, so we'll move on to our next driver, which will be, we'll speak to Hibbs quickly, because we'll speak to Hibbs and McGowan because they've got their podiums tonight. So we'll have a quick chat to Hibbs. Once again, Hibbs, towards the end of the season, it's turned into a season where you've gained some good points and another podium to your name. So talk about tonight, because it definitely looked very scrappy tonight here at Donington. It always seems to do with these types of cars, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was being pushed from the guys behind. I didn't have the pace to be in front of them. So it was trying to not make mistakes, which in race 1 I made my fair share of. But yeah, race 2 and 3 I think went about as well as they could have done. I was just chatting to Gowney about the move he made at the old hairpin. There's the old hairpin in at the bottom of the craners.
Yes.
Proper touring car move. We was just chatting about it then, and I'll see if I can clip it. It was an absolute peach of a move. I got mugged right off. So yeah, it was a good battle. Tried to go with Gowney when he went past, but yeah, just lacking in pace. So trying to be clean and stay ahead of the guys behind.
I think that's what's the nice thing about these cars in this circuit layout. They're very much, as you say, touring-esque style, and this is kind of the format that we went with Whodarron Cup. It's touring car style.
Yeah.
Overall, a season that you could probably look back on and say you've done the best you could. Obviously, later after the season, you seem to come back into your stride a little bit. But just talk about the M2s in general in this championship, because it definitely looked like it's been an entertaining season nonetheless.
Absolutely love these cars. These are probably my favourite cars on the game. The first part of the season, I got caught up in quite a few incidents where I feel I was run into. But yeah, towards the end, I sort of learnt who I could battle with hard, and that sort of thing. But I've had some brilliant battles throughout the season. I think on the whole, I've probably done about where I should be. Like this race and the last week, I think I overperformed there, so it probably balances itself out in the end, I suppose.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on the season and a fantastic job towards the end. You've been an absolute star, and hopefully see you back on the grid next season.
Hopefully we'll see you back at some point, and yeah, thanks for all the comms. Thanks for just the chats in the group, that sort of thing, and yeah, stick around on the Discord.
Oh, don't you worry, I'll be around in the Discord, and thanks for the kind words, mate.
No worries, thank you very much. Cheers all.
And now we're going to go to one of the casual drivers. We are going to go to McGowan next. McGowan, obviously, didn't make race 1. You joined in for race 2 and 3, but you had a race win in the second race. I think that was a lovely surprise to find Mezin facing the wrong way, but nonetheless, you've been entertaining to watch once again this season, and you just never seem to have the luck this season. Nothing seems to be going your way, but you've managed to stick it out. You've managed to get to the end, and it's been an amazing season to commentate on yourself and the guys.
Yeah, well, I don't normally come on here. I had to come on here, Dan, because it's your last stream for a while. So I thought I'd better come and chat to you since I've been racing with you for over a year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
it's the race. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I jumped in. I was surprised I got pole. I was shocked at that, but I enjoyed that race win. And then second race was good fun with Ibs. And that's about it for me. And then just want to congrats Post on the overall championship, and Post and Wilbrick for the team as well, isn't it? They've
Yes,
won the team
they've won
championship,
both. Yep.
Is it?
Yeah, and Wilbrick won silver as well.
Yeah, oh nice. So hopefully me and Skunky can bring it to him next season, so that'd be good. So yeah, that's it for me, mate.
Well, it's been.
Thanks for all the commentating, and we'll look forward to seeing you hopefully in the future when you come back. I know you'll come back. We all know it.
Thank you, mate. But yeah, as I said, it's been great to commentate on you and Skunky as well. It's been a pleasure for you boys, and like I said, the channel will be looking forward to seeing you boys make a return next season.
Yeah, catch you later, boys.
And we will now move on to your silver driver category winner. We'll move on to Wilbrink. That's the one I want. We'll move on to we'll leave Post till last because he is champion. It's Wilbrink we are now going to move on to. And Wilbrink, what a season you have had. Not only did you just win your silver category, but you've also won the teams category as well. How does that feel, man? How does it feel?
Yeah, really nice, really nice. At the beginning of the championship, I thought I competing. I didn't think I gonna win something. But I get my points along the season, and understand the M2 a little bit more and more. Yeah, it's fun to drive.
obviously yourself and Post really kind of been a very pointsy season for you guys, just building up the points as you go along, just staying out of trouble. And obviously with the MSA boys just coming out of the season a little bit, it really threw yourselves back into the championship, and in the end winning the title. How have you found things here at SimPlay Motorsport, and have you thoroughly enjoyed it, of course? And of course, are you planning to make a return next season?
Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed it a lot. Just want to say, my first championship, and yeah, I like it a lot. Commentating is really enjoyable. Every Tuesday evening, night, I watch the whole thing back. Yeah, great.
Well,
you see me back.
Well, it'll be great to see you back on track once again, mate. And another congratulations on the silver category and the team's championship as well.
Thanks.
And we are now going to move on to second man in the championship, Demonster. Obviously, again, the same question to yourself. It's been an amazing season with you here, Demonster. First season in SimPlay Motorsport, entertaining to watch nonetheless. Fighting it right to the very end, to the last race of the season against yourself and Post. What a season it's been for yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been so amazing. Like, I just signed up because I love them twos. I love the battling in this. From early on, I had like amazing fights with Post, so all props to him. Like, he deserved this win like so much. It was just super fun to do. Like, the whole thing, the tracks were really good for it. The racing was really good for it. A bit of a shame. A lot of people, like some people dropped out near the end, but still the racing was amazing till the last bit of it.
Obviously, like you said, you come in to test the M2s out. You come in to kind of test the league out, see how you feel in here. I know you do a bit of GT3 racing, and I know as well there's a particular car that you tend to enjoy driving as well. Could we possibly see you in the GT3 category, or is it kind of just more the side series you're kind of looking into?
So because of this Whodarron Cup event, I've barely touched the GT3 lately. And I've been doing a lot of like multi-class, like GT4. Because going from the GT3 to the M2 is a big difference. Going to like a Mercedes GT4, it's not that different than the M2.
Yeah.
So it's not like a big switch. So I'm really enjoying that. Maybe I'm going to look up a GT4 season. But I'll see if I'll do the GT3, maybe as a reserve or like just for fun, see where I'll end up.
Well, like I said, it's been an amazing season once again having you joining us here at SimPlay, and hopefully we will see you back on the grid next season, whether it's in the Whodarron Cup or possibly in GT3s, but nonetheless it's been an amazing season, and just a shame you just missed out on the championship at the end, but you've been a star nonetheless.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Hey, thank you for doing this. I also watch the race back like always. Like, you're doing a great job at it. It's so fun to watch it back. Like, it's been amazing. All props to Martin. I didn't even expect to gain this position. Like, I had an insane fight with him. It was amazing. Thank you.
And thank you very much indeed, mate. As we now move on to your championship winner, your Whodarron Cup champion for this season, for season 2 in the M2s, is Post. Post, how does that feel, my friend? You are the champion and you are team's champion as well. Well done for this season.
Thanks. Yeah, it feels amazing. Racing all season was very clean, very enjoyable. Loved the M2s. Had some awesome battles with a lot of people, with the Monster as well. Side-by-side racing whole season long. Great battles on track. Really enjoyed this season.
The thing that baffles me, obviously, like I said, the MSA boys coming away gave you and Demonster that chance to win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
You won this championship not by winning a single race this season. It was
Not
just
one,
points,
indeed.
points. And no matter what, even though you didn't win a race this season, you won the main prize. That is the championship. Was it just that
awesome.
was that just the goal? Just score as many points as possible and keep the nose clean?
Yeah, just scored many points. I ended up on some podiums, third place, second place. So yeah, that gave me a lot of points. I know a lot of the other guys were a lot quicker than me. Hibbs, McGowan, O'Reilly, Sylph. If they would have all participated in all of the races, I wouldn't have got so many points. But yeah, just reckoning points every race. That was the main goal, keeping it alive, and enjoying the races. That was it. Yeah.
Got to be in it to win it. That's what they say, isn't it?
Exactly.
We now obviously come to the end of the season. You are the champion. Obviously, the Whodarron Cup is going to continue next season. Not sure what it's going to be yet. Could be multi-class, could be GT4s, or it could be back to the M2s again. Will we see you retain the championship and try and come back to defend it?
I think so. Yeah. Depending on the class, I think I will definitely join.
Well, we definitely look forward to that one, mate. And also another massive congratulations on the season. You fully deserved it. And your champion for this season for the Whodarron Cup, it is Post. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you very much. And you also, thank you very much for all of the commentary on all of the streams. I really loved it. Thanks.
And that is that for the drivers' interviews, as Post wins the title and wins the championship. Wilbrink wins the silver class, and then also we had Marsden winning bronze class as well. The team's championship going the way of Apex Motorsport once again. And that is about it for the Whodarron Cup this season. Obviously, polls. I can't even talk now. The tickets are still available for drivers for the final race of the season, so they are provisional at this minute, but most of the time people are quite nice to be a little bit lenient at the end of the season, but we'll see what happens. And I believe Matthew Duffin wants to say some words before we end the stream tonight.
Yeah, indeed. Cheers, Dan. First of all, congratulations to all the drivers and the teams who's won the championships, Apex, Post, Wilbrink and Marsden. But I'm only here tonight basically just to say a few words. Dan's been with us for 5 years, came on board as just a driver, then got involved in the commentary with his dad, and then became an admin and steward, and has done a lot of the social media work over these 5 years. As you all obviously have all heard from Dan himself, he's stepping away, needs some time away, which we all understand and we all respect, and he knows where we all are if he ever needs a chat. But I just want to say a massive thank you. First of all, I set this league up 5 years ago, purely during the COVID lockdown for something to do. To see it blossom into what it has become over these 5 years, I could not have done, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I could not have done without Dan Davis. There have been times throughout them 5 years where Dan has held it together and has helped me push this league to where it is today. So first of all, a big thank you, and I hope the whole chat agrees with me on this one, that a big thank you for Dan Davis for all the effort he's put in and all the work he's done over these 5 years. For his great racing, obviously I'll say a bit more about his racing on Thursday night, but for his great racing, mainly for his great commentary. These last 3 seasons of Whodarron Cup in particular, he's been on the comms on his own for most of the time. He had Lexi the other season with him for a few of the races, but Dan's done most of this work on his own on a Tuesday night in the comms box. It's been absolutely privileged to watch back and enjoy and sort of sit from afar, especially this season with helping my partner out with our child that we had earlier this year. I've been able to sit and enjoy the streams and listen to them and watch them more from afar. So thank you for Dan, basically, for all the hard work that Dan has absolutely put in to this championship, to this league, to this channel, to the series. He's going to be a huge miss from all of us here, from not just the admin team, but from the whole league, from the whole group. He's going to be a big miss. Top guy who puts his heart and soul into everything he does. And Dan, we all love you, and no, we appreciate the work you've done. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, as I say, it's just time to step away. It's time to move on, and like I said, good things must come to an end. And for a minute, it's time to say goodbye. And like I said, hopefully in the future, I will be back sooner rather than later. But like I said, health is more important, and obviously a big thing about this championship and the whole reason why we are doing this, especially in this league, is just to remind that people that we are here for one another. I've learned quite quickly that it's important to not be okay, and now I need to go away and just focus on myself and rebuild, and we're all here for one another. And I hope Aaron's looking down at us right now at this league and seeing how an amazing job that not just myself, the drivers and the team have done, but everyone who keeps continue pushing on and fighting for whatever they fight for. because at the end of the day, we are all still human. We are still, we all still got a heart. We've all still got a brain. We've all still got blood flowing through us. And at the end of the day, we just need to make some time for ourselves. And in this case, that's what I need at this moment in time. And a big, big thank you to not just the league, but Matt as well. I said a few times where we've got in some interesting situations, but we've managed to come out of it. And like I said, it's been a long time here at SimPlay, and it's time just to put my feet up, relax for a bit, and yeah, like I said, hopefully I'll be back sooner rather than later. Me and my Lexus hopefully make a return at some point, but for now it is a see you later rather than a goodbye. And again, thank you Matt, thank you Mike, and thank you Matt Wright as well, and all the other previous admin members that have been a part of it, the team as well. I'm actually not sure what Kelly's doing. I've not really discussed things with him, but it's down to him what he wants to do. But for now, for myself at least, I don't know about Team Audio Sport. I may talk about running that in the background, I don't know yet, but either way, for myself and for at least the number 16, we're going to part ways for a moment. But thank you again, Matt. Thank you to the team, and like I said, keep talking to one another, because that's all we need to do here. But that is it for the Whodarron Cup. Let's go back to who was the champion. Post is your champion this season, and a fantastic job for him. Apex Motorsport win the teams as well, and then Willbrink wins silver, and Marsden wins bronze. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night, because there's still more racing action still to come. We got Langley and Matthew Duffin bringing you the action for Pro-Ams. Betty Varga has won the title, but there is still championships available for the guys, as well as the final positions are being made. And obviously there's still the bronze championship as well. Betterson versus Marex for that one. Team Audio Sport versus SimPlay Racing. There's a point separating those two. And being that it's a Donington circuit and Gary is on the other team, I'm not really hopeful for Audio Sport for this one. But we're going to give it our very best for the last chance. But also for the pros, Silt can win the title. He is currently 52 points ahead of Rosowski. Ben Rook is third in the championship. He can still win the title as well. It's a three-way fight between those guys. But the fight is between MSA versus Team Audio Sport. Again, Team Audio Sport could win 2 titles for their last running here at SimPlay Motorsport. But who is it going to go the way of? Can MSA hold them off? That is the question. 39 points separating them, as John Goudet and Matthew Duffin will be bringing you the action for that one. But from myself and the Whodarron Cup, for the last time this season, it's a good night, and we'll see you next time at Donington Park tomorrow night for the Pro-Ams. Good night.